Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we are back today for another recap of Raising Kanan. This is season 4, episode 9, titled It's About That Time. And it is about that time. This was a really good one. So before we jump into the conversation, though, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click that notification bell so you get alerted every time we post. Also, make sure you invite your friends and family to hop onto the Spot Real Talk as well. We look forward to seeing all of our new subscribers, and we appreciate all of our old ones. So thank you guys for holding us down.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if I look like Beetlejuice from time to time during this show, it's the shirt. Okay.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of color issues.
And we got some color issues.
But it's just the camera. Ron is still alive and kicking. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
I got blood in my veins. Don't worry about it.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hop into this episode. It's about that time. So, wow, it's a lot going on this episode. I want to start off with exactly where the episode started off, this Krystal situation. Because, we seen her get pulled in by the two cops that work for Snap and Pop. And I'm thinking it's just going to be a scenario where they take her to the police station, maybe put her in a room and question her and try to get something out of her. No, they took it real far. Krystal has actually been stripped down. She's in her panties and t-shirt and they've been drugging her. I'm like, whoa.
They've been beating her too because she had bruises all over her.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, they took it from 0 to 100 for real. So, and then in comes Pop trying to act like she's some kind of savior, like she there to rescue Krystal. And she's kind of still trying to pull information out of her, trying to play on this girls type of vibe, like, oh, we some bad bees, we got to stick together type stuff. And Krystal does kind of give up a little information. She was saying, how Rock was the one that Kanan suspected. It wasn't really the police that like Pop was trying to suggest. Like she was basically trying to feel her out to see if she knew that, they were behind it. But Krystal gave up that little piece of information about Kanan being very suspicious of Rock and him thinking that she was the one behind Famous's murder. And I was like, I thought that was going to be enough. She fixed the girl a sandwich and then shot her in the head. I'm like, did you really need to do that?
I said her swallow the sandwich. I mean, it was filling them out. And
yes, yeah.
Wow. I'm not surprised by many things. When I saw that, I really, my mouth hung open. I didn't expect it, and I guess because they had me on the edge of my seat from that point on.
I was worried for her when they snatched her off the bus because when they had the meet and greet with the cops last week, Snaps and Pop, like it was clear that they had given an order to the cops to put Fame down. And we know Fame was tortured. That's what Garcia said. When they said they wanted to find out how much Kanan knew, the cops said, we're gonna find out. If he knows anything, we're gonna find out. So that's why they targeted Krystal, because she was this girl and the closest one to him and stuff. And I think that Pop took her out because how you going to explain you having her, or you and you not letting Kanan know that she was with you? Like she would have been able to she's an eyewitness, and you
she is. I understand no loose ends, but the girl was already about to go out of town. Just send her out of town.
Yeah, she was. I think there was no way, like after she saw her face and all that stuff, they was gonna let her live. And I told Ron off camera, I was like, you know how we felt about Krystal at first.
Yeah.
And sometimes we thought she had an agenda and stuff. It turned out that she was down after all. And
right.
Stuff, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. She was great on the show too.
The killing kind of reminds me of a signature move because they beat up Famous. and threw him, discarded him like he was nothing. And here we see bruises, and same thing for Krystal. And of course, my boy Kanan is in no position to think logically.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I guess I have to say rightfully so. It's too bad that Krystal put that bulb over Pop's head to make it look as if Rock had something to do with it in the first place. But if he were to think about it, when they do find the body, it's their signature marks, signature situations where
they're gonna think the same person was behind it, and they would be correct. But in Kanan's mind, especially since he's gone now and he's had to sit down with Rock against his will, but Rock came and sat down with him, and she was basically telling him that she had nothing to do with Famous's murder. And she also mentioned that Krystal had come to see her. And I was like, okay, so if there is to be some suspicion about the same person being behind both of their murders, and Rock now mentioning that Krystal seen her right before she died, and then add that into what Snaps and Pop told Kanan later on in the episode, saying, yeah, it was Rock that killed Famous. So now Kanan has no idea, or he has no other option but to believe that Rock was behind both murders. I think in his mind, he's dead set against whatever she has to say. And he's on like a one-track mind. It's like there's no telling him otherwise.
He is, but I think, and I told this to Ron, I think Juke is going to be the one to break it down for him, because after, I know I don't want to get too far ahead of you, but going back to the Garcia situation, when he showed her the picture and said, we found a Jane Doe, I was like, she going to be the one that's going to have to like break it to him. And also I think she's going to make it plain for him. Like, your mom ain't the only one that had access to the cops.
Yeah.
And like refocus him and say like, yeah, Pop, Snaps and Pop had access to the cops too. So I feel like I feel like they're gonna come together in a finale. I feel like the two of them are gonna come together, or either the family is gonna come together.
Yes.
Take down Snap and Pop.
Absolutely.
Can't come any quicker. I mean, hell can't be any hotter for those two. I can always say that.
Well, think about how this is going to affect Kanan too, because he's already spiraling.
That was my fear. That was my fear, though. I started to say, and I said that to Tiffany offline, that my fear is that he will just attack Rock. And now that Lou has joined back forces, it's going to force the two of them to get into some type of thing. But that probably won't happen. I think I agree with you, Tiffany, more so with Jukebox getting in between all that, set his mind straight, and that's what I'm hoping on.
Yeah.
Right now, he's on a warpath.
Yeah, because Kanan, he went to a Krystal stepdad. He started beating up on him.
Yeah.
Then, he even went against his better judgment. He was hesitant to go to Unique, but he got desperate, and he ended up going to Unique and asking him, about Krystal's disappearance or whatever. And he even admitted to Ronnie's death. So that brought him some cool points where Unique.
He stood on business.
He did. He basically, Unique was really impressed that he could stand on his own, that he fessed up to it, and he was like, he's becoming his own man. And so I'm like, Kanan is stepping into a different light, but much like Unique going through all this trauma and it changing. I mean, Unique has some physical trauma that changed him. Kanan's has a lot of emotional baggage in terms of losing all of these friends back to back to back, and then being distrustful of your own family and trying to move and navigate that. So I think that losing Krystal, once he finds out, he's going to be so ruthless. It's not even going to make sense.
And that's even worse. The mental aspect, you can get over the bruises with the physical, but when you have that mental distress like that, that's worse than the physical. As much as when we saw him talking with Unique, my first impression was, oh, they're going to join forces, but I can't see it happening because Kanan is not he can't subordinate himself to Unique. Unique would want to be on top, and that's not what happened with Kanan.
Well, it seems like he mentioned a partnership
Yeah,
more so, and I think that he realizes that he can't put his thumb on Kanan. I
yeah,
think Unique sees him as his own man, and I think that if like when he approached him in a way that seems like, I want to empower you,
yeah.
not I want to control you.
But that's not what Unique wants. I mean, Unique would want to control Kanan, and
I
that's not.
don't know if that's true,
But
because
how?
I think
It's
he's using
true.
it as a strategic kind of puzzle piece.
Yeah, except that
Yeah,
they're
to
two.
get at Rock.
But
To
the
get
Mm-hmm.
at Rock.
well, as he said, that would be a benefit. But when you put two magnets together, they come together. But these are two opposite poles, and they could never join. It would be, because Kanan has his own self awareness about where he wants to be, and of course, Unique wants to get back on top. So I think Kanan can smell Unique a mile away once his head clears. Right now, his head is all foggy, and if he were to do anything with Unique, it would surely be to get back at Rock.
But he really might not have a choice.
Well, I don't know. Right now, he's not thinking. My fear is that he would join forces just to get back with Rock because
He
you,
might, but he might, yeah, he might, but I think it's gonna be temporary because I really think that Juke is gonna be the one to get through to him. But now we see, don't y'all see the parallels between the Kanan and this Kanan and the OG Kanan?
Yes.
Because now you see where he learned that move. Because what Unique is doing to Kanan, trying to turn him against. Because think about it, when they thought Kanan was dead, he let them think he was dead for a while. Who did that? Unique.
Yep.
And with this, the situation with Tariq, Kanan took Tariq under him and he was turning him against Ghost. That's why Unique want to work with Kanan too,
Yeah.
because he already see there's division between Kanan and Rock, and he wants to work with him and further do that. And that's where Kanan learned that, because that's one thing that I remember a while ago. Courtney Kemp was talking about mentors and stuff, like how Tariq learned from everybody. Like Tariq learned from Ghost, his mom, Tommy, and Kanan. And the same with Kanan. Kanan learned from his mom, his Uncle Lou, like even like in the OG Kanan, in OG Power, Kanan dressed like Uncle Lou, like the jacket and stuff that Lou wears and stuff. Kanan dressed like Lou. He was hot headed, kind of like Uncle Marv and stuff. And then he learned stuff from Unique. So he learned a lot from everybody. And he did the same thing with Tariq.
Yeah. And I think that, like you said, we kind of seeing the root of what caused them to become who they are. We're seeing it with Jukebox. We're seeing it with Kanan. And so I think that this is where both of them start getting real ruthless after all of this stuff, losing people real close to them. They just gonna snap and not turn back. But Unique, going back to him, he caused a little stir up this episode too, going and sending his man to take out David. And I was like, okay, I see him making moves. I'm that was basically Rock's last leg, to distribute her stuff. So when you talk about them teaming up, that's why I say they might not have a choice.
Right.
Because there's also this issue brewing up with Stefano. And so Marvin's mistakes have come back to bite real bad. Real bad.
But I can't wait till Rock finds out that Stefano lied, on Marvin.
On Marvin, yeah.
Now I love Rock. She plays it, she plays it right to the best. I mean, she's real cool, and she hasn't let on at this point, didn't let on to Marvin what was said in that meeting. There's got to be a lot of suspicion going on.
But she said you effed up. She said you really effed this up, Marvin. So she let him know
that there's a problem, but she hasn't. I can't wait until they begin to talk about it. But because Stefano was the one that was actually trying to convince Marvin.
Exactly.
So exactly. He flipped the script. So
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see, and that's another one that got to go. So, and
Yeah,
I'm not going to be a lot of distros left after seeing.
listen, he gotta go. And here's the thing, and this is why it's still Marvin's mistake, because had he told Rock what was going on to begin with, like that, like I knew he wanted to be his own man. That's fine, but he could have given her a heads up, like, yo, he asked me to do this, da da da, and it looks like that that sowed some distrust because he looked like he was going behind her back, and then he lied when he said it wasn't him that the police saw and stuff like that. So it sowed distrust. So it left a little wiggle room for Stefano to tell that lie because he didn't come correct in the first place. The other mistake he made, like Rock told him to take care of Londell and Early. And by him not taking care of Early, that left him out there to run the Stefano and run his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, it doesn't help that when Early confronted him, he basically punked him.
Yeah, he did.
Come on, Early. Come on. What were you going to do?
But the thing was, I knew that was a mistake. It was funny.
Yeah,
It was funny as I don't know what. But I said that was a mistake because I said if you're going to do that, you gotta shut him up for good. Because I was like, either he gonna ambush Marvin and I physically ambushed him, or he did what he did. He told on him, and now you can see that Marvin is no longer in the circle of trust because he was like, I want to talk to you alone. They dismissed Marvin.
Well, because he was about to lie on him too.
Yeah. He was about to lie on him, but he also dismissed him. Because before he would have talked to both of them, but now Early has confirmed that Marvin knew that that his family friend was killed, and then he gave him the okay. Now Marvin lied to his face when asked, did you hear anything? Know anything? This and the other. He was like, no, that's white people work. He said, I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Early confirmed that he did. So now it's on. It's on. I'm really nervous for Marvin. I'm like,
very.
Is something going to happen with him, or is he gonna be unalive? Is he going to the Bing?
I was about to say, well, if not for the situation with Stefano, definitely something's gonna happen. Maybe with the situation with Gerald's daughter Amber.
Yeah.
Because I understand his concern and still wanting to look after her and whatnot, but he took it another level this episode by going over there. And I know it wasn't intentional; it wasn't part of the plan. But he ended up having to kill her foster parents. I'm like,
I don't even know what they were, man. And
were they on drugs? Were they like?
And where'd the baby come from? So
I think they had her handling their baby while they was doing whatever they was doing.
They were looking dusty too. So, but the thing is, after he shot them, he tells Amber, "Well, tell them it was a white tattooed person," and so she was in shock, baby hollering. I was just like, so you really think she not gonna I don't know. I'm like, Marvin,
yeah, he gonna go to the Bing or to the grave, one or the other.
This was a show of deception all the way, and I really like the song at the end, "Smiling Faces" by
me too.
Undisputed Truth. Song. I mean, I love that song, man. I mean, and it kind of was the theme throughout the whole episode. You just can't trust anybody, and everybody is just lying on each other. And I have to say, this is a good episode 9. I mean,
a lot of it was a good episode. Really? It was a really good episode. Yeah. Started off with a bang, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, a real bang.
Literally.
And so it really makes me think, please, please, please don't water down 10. You
I don't see that.
No, it's about to be on go.
It better be, because you can't take me to this level.
No, it's about to be on go. Because
I'm telling you.
I think a lot of stuff is going to happen. Because first off, I still feel like Russo and them and Italian ain't really rocking with Unique like that. Like
at all. Especially after that David killing. It seemed like he wasn't really feeling him.
Yeah, they didn't tell him to do that. He's making mistakes too. Like
because that's the other thing. You don't have a distro. So, and you got money to pay. If you don't pay Russo, he's going to get you. So,
and plus he's making moves. Russo specifically said nobody stand down from Rock. This
yeah.
and the other. Unique is still doing his own thing. He's gonna be a liability for them too.
Yep.
So I feel like the Italians gonna get together
Mm-hmm.
and it might mess around and be rocking them against the Italians again because because Unique is messing up.
And that's why he's seeking partnership now, because I think he realizes, oh, I might have overstepped. That's why he's over there talking to Kanan and whatnot. And Rock happened to see Kanan over there when he was leaving out. And so, when she lost her distro or whatever, and she knows that Unique was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she showed up at his door at the end, I was like, okay, she got a plan of her own brewing. Because I think that it's not a matter of I want to work with you. It's a matter of I need partnership right now. If it's going to be a situation where it's us versus them, and the Italians have a lot more resources, they got the cops in their pocket. Not to say that Rocking them don't, but it seems like they have a wider network, whereas Rocking them are just kind of getting established. And so they might not be able to stand as tall, especially when so many of their men have been taken out. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking they're trying to team up because it's going to be a matter of survival.
I think she's trying to tell him you need to stand down or we getting ready to it's getting ready to be that.
I think so too.
I think that's why, because when Lou quit the record label and stuff,
yes,
and he said, I want this, and she said, well, then I need you all in. When she went to talk to him, I think she's going to give Unique an ultimatum. They may end up, who knows? They may end up working together, but right now, I think she's about to let him know, like.
Well, what did she say? She said to Lou, "Get ready because we're about to step into the draft."
Yeah. Yep. So that means she's standing on business. Like I don't think she's trying to kumbaya.
Oh, I get that. I'm not to say that she is like trying to team up with him. I think that the circumstances are going to maybe force them to have to come together.
Oh,
I think that Rock absolutely has a plan where she has Lou in mind to take out Unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they gonna need him and everything. Because we're gonna see if Marvin gonna be around. Because I feel like
Rock is the only one that has Rock is the only one that has a distro. Okay, even though they took out David.
She is the distro. She the plug. She don't have nobody to sell for her.
She don't have nobody to move it.
Right. She doesn't have anybody to move it. So she's in a better position than Unique and Kanan. Because Kanan, I mean, she could drop Kanan any day, but she's probably not going to do that. But Kanan and Unique joining up really doesn't make any sense because they got nothing. And where are they going to get? And Kanan, I mean, Unique killing David was a dumb move. He should have been trying to bring David onto his side, but killing.
He just wanted to hurt Rock. That's all.
But he thought he was hurting Rock by killing.
He actually hurt himself.
Right. He actually put more damage on himself than Rock.
Mm-hmm. So, well, he with Unique and gosh, I'm lost my train of thought. I was waiting. Go ahead.
No, but it's just that I like I said earlier, these joining forces, Kanan and Unique, they're just, I mean, they're two rams coming together, head, just bumping heads. I can't see that merger. It makes no business sense because
I don't know that Unique's gonna be around. I think that something may happen to Unique unless he gets out of town and escapes until season 5 or whatever. But I don't know how much longer he's gonna be around. I feel like when this is what I was gonna say, when Rock saw Kanan coming out, she looked so disappointed. Like he betrayed me, like he's going to my enemy, like yeah, she looked so disappointed when she saw that.
And that's probably what drove her to meet up with Unique in the first place. When she saw, because I agree, that was the straw that broke her back. I think, she, as much as she's been trying to pour into Kanan, and then she sees Kanan going over to Unique, she's like, no, this can't happen. We need to step into the dragon's nest and take care of this. So how this ends, I honestly, you can't keep ghosting and unghosting Unique. So
Right. Eventually, he's gonna go.
Yeah, gotta go and stay gone.
Eventually, he's gonna go. I think
I just
he.
don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be episode 10.
Well, then he may make it to the season. I mean, to season 5. But I think eventually too that she's gonna let him know about pregnancy as well. I think
Yeah.
in some shape or form, she gonna slide that in there.
Yeah, that might be right on his deathbed or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So
Do you think that could be used as a weapon? If she were to play that right, do you think there would be any benefit?
I don't know. Then I'm just you can tell him like T said, and it's like that's why I got rid of your seed.
yeah. You know, another situation that we were kind of skeptical about was this Imani and Lou situation, because we knew Imani, we thought she had some other motives. It turns out maybe she actually was genuinely interested in Lou. But we were talking about if Ish hit the fan, would she ride for him or not? And
what did I say?
Wow. She did call that. She did call it because she said the moment she finds out what he really does, she's outie. And
yeah, she was about to make her an accomplice. He was like, she heard him lie to the police. She was like, "Oh no, I'm out of here."
And I wasn't mad at her.
No, like
We talking about 2 murders here, and you sitting up here saying I'm your alibi. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, I had to, my son and I was talking about that. He was just like, "See, she ain't trying to ride." I'm like, "I ain't trying to ride with no motor either. What you talking about?"
He could at least told her first.
Yeah, he just he put on the spot. Yeah, I was at her house, and she's looking like.
But she, look, she didn't look. I mean, what did she really say? In fact, she said she really didn't know anything about this time thing. So it's not like she, put herself on Front Street with that. But I think I don't know.
She didn't appreciate it.
Okay,
Like,
I mean, how do you say to somebody, and how do you just walk, hey, look, I like to get with you and everything, but I'm a murderer. I mean, come on. It's not going to work that way. So
no, exactly. So that's why she politely excused herself. Like when once she found that he was lying to the police and making her accomplice, she was like, okay, I'm exiting stage left.
Yeah. But to Lou's credit, I think that he has had to grapple with who he really is. And he said as much to Rock. He was saying, it wasn't the fact that, I was doing a lot of immoral stuff that was bothering me. It's the fact that I enjoyed it. I liked it. I got a rush from it. And so, Lou is facing who he really is and accepting that. And that's why he decided to get back in the fold with Rock. And so I think Imani saying this is not the lifestyle for me also confirmed to him. I think that, once he killed those 2 guys last episode, he stepped back into the lifestyle that he was trying to leave behind.
Yeah,
and then dragging more people in around him into that mess. He doesn't need no type of permanent bonds with people that could drag them down too. Ron, you always say that lifestyle and trying to have a family and a wife and all that stuff, it don't mix.
Yeah, it doesn't mix. But that's what I was saying. With Imani also, not only did she break up with him, she was like, "Oh, I don't even want to work with you." She even went to Lowell and was like, and so she was supposed to be, pushing Rilla out. So he lost that too.
But I think about it from the perspective that what Lowell said, he was like, "You worked at another label previously, and look at what happened there. Like Crown got murked." Yeah. So it's like, if I seen that coming from you, I would be like, "Nah." We good over here.
Yeah. So she was like, nah, yeah. So, but he was gonna, Lou quit though. He quit and he told Rock though, he was like, music gonna be there. But it makes me wonder, like, is it a twist? Is Lou gone? Is something gonna happen to Lou? I hope not. But
Big Rilla also seemed very disappointed that Lou quit too. But he was saying, if you need me, I'm around. I need some work.
Yeah, he did. He did say that, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, so you're not just a studio gangster,
right?
So look. Don't give him
that remains to be seen.
Yeah, remains to be seen. Don't give him that clip yet. No.
Well, I mean, he also let's see if he pick up the phone. See if he answers the call.
You gotta be on point before.
Yeah, because
You
He
know,
better because Lou stepped into the lion's den for him last week. So
Mm-hmm.
he better repay the favor if Lou calls on him.
hey, but
Yeah.
I like my boy. You know, I'm a Ravens fan, of course.
Yeah, Oscar Lamar. Yep.
Know that I'm a Ravens fan, so my boy Lamar shows up. You know, his little cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Luke, I think that was the greatest line. Man, the writing today, this episode was fantastic. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Unique asked him, he said, "What are you big? What did he say? Big country boys or something like
Yeah,
that?
he said, what? He said, what are y'all eating? And
What are
over
y'all
there in
eating?
Jersey, what are y'all Jersey? He was like,
In New
New York.
York.
New York niggas. That's what
Yeah.
I heard
okay.
that.
And he's respected that move. You know that thing. So hey, it was
Mm-hmm.
a little cameo. Hey, you know,
Well, I mean, yeah, it shows how big Lamar really is too,
uh,
because
let's just
you
say
know,
being out on the field this coming season. You know, leave the leave the theater behind, bruh. I need some
yeah,
championship.
I mean, I'm happy for him, but I mean, yeah, he gonna have to. I mean, he always does handle business on the field. I like Lamar. I mean, but you know,
Super Bowl.
but we the champs. The Eagles are the
I
champs.
know that.
Fly Eagles
Yeah,
fly.
we got to shoot that eagle down. Okay, I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
on
yeah,
the national
yeah,
bird
yeah.
and all,
So
but I gotta
Lamar,
go. I gotta go.
I like Lamar, but you know,
I know.
But I did enjoy his cameo this
I
episode.
did
Okay.
too. Me
Yeah.
too.
So
Yeah, I'm still.
and speaking of a cameo, it looked like Aisha came back into town and kind of stirred up Jukebox emotions,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking because she had previously talked to old girl whose husband she murked,
Mm-hmm.
and the girl was saying that Garcia had been kind of like probing her and trying to get more information. But Juke kind of let her know, like, I'm gonna settle that situation. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about it. But the girl
Mm-hmm.
also started talking about somebody else she was interested in. It seems like at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then Aisha comes back into town and she's kind of been talking about how she's been dating around on campus, seeing a guy from Morehouse and stuff. But Juke mentioned that she had some little flings here and there, and they had both kind of had this little jealous spirit behind hearing about
Mm-hmm.
each other's interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I
They
was
still
like,
care
I
about each
wonder
other.
if Juke feels a way that two of the people that she has shown interest in are out here seeing other people. Like, I wonder if she feels like she's not enough in some way. Because
But she's not putting in the work really. But I mean, Aisha though, you got to make up your mind. Is it Juke or is it
Yeah,
dude?
I think she ain't ready to come
she
out.
lost still,
Then you got to
yeah.
leave it
That's the
alone and
other
leave it
thing.
alone
I think
because
she's still.
you're mixing the problem is Juke is the one that's getting the brunt end of it. So if you're and it's fine that you don't know, that's fine. But don't
Mhm.
step in, step out, step in, step out,
Yeah, yeah. I think she's still trying to figure it out, and that's why she date do it. Or
You need to
she
do
may
that.
like both. She
Well,
like
Yeah.
but I mean, but Juke doesn't go that way. So
no.
so you gotta kind of pick and choose, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she also seemed like Aisha was questioning Jukebox about her aspirations. Like, what are you going to do now? It used to be the music thing. It used to be the military thing. What is going to be your motivating force now? And Jukebox is kind of like settled into this mindset that I am just like my family. This
Hmm.
is who I am. And I think that just as much as Lou is accepting that this episode, Jukebox is coming to terms with that realization as well, more and more as we go on. And then as all these things happen, especially the thing with Krystal and the thing with Famous, it's like solidifying that in her mind that, like, and Kanan said something. I think Jukebox said, you got to think positive. You got to,
He said it doesn't work out for us. It doesn't
yeah.
work out for us, Drew. That's yeah.
And
He
that
did
kind
say
of,
that.
that line kind of caught me, and I think it caught her too because
Hmm.
that might have been an epiphany for her as well. That, like, as much
Hmm.
as we want to be optimistic and have these aspirations, we are what we are. We're in the situation that we're in, and I don't think there's a way out of it
Yeah,
for her,
there
unfortunately.
is a way. Choose.
There is a way. I wish
Well,
she.
I think in her mind, there's no way because she
Right,
sees
right,
all this stuff around
Well,
her.
she had a
right.
way. She had the army. She dropped that because I mean, look, you got to make a choice. You can't. And for Kanan to say that, I was a little disturbed behind it because look, you chose this life, Kanan, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't understand what goes on in this life. This life is
Mhm.
all about quick living and dying early. That's just what it is. So that's what you chose. Now, if you don't want that for yourself, do what your mother wanted you to do in the first place. Go back to school and act like you got some sense. But you can't be, this is not a world where you can have it one toe in and one toe out. You have to make a choice. And
Yeah.
you make that choice, which is why I like what Lou said to Rock, because it seems like he solidified himself and said, this is what I want, this is who I
This is who I
am,
am.
and let's rock. You made a choice.
Well, notice that when Juke was coming to that realization, and the look on Aisha's face, it looked when she said, "I'm more like my family." She didn't look like she approved because she was just like, because I guess because Juke had already said about what her family is. She know what her family is about, so she was like disappointed when Juke said it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so that may come to a point where can be nothing but friends because they have different, they're on different paths.
Aspirations.
Yeah.
But that's why I say you got to make a choice. You can't. This isn't you can't be lukewarm in this type of thing. You're either hot or you're cold. You can't be.
Yeah, I think I see the situation with Jukebox and Aisha much like I see the situation with Imani and Lou. You are sitting up here trying to deal with people who have no involvement in the life whatsoever.
Not in the life, right? Innocence and innocence get hurt, i.e.,
Yep.
Krystal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay, y'all might not like this, but I'm gonna
What?
say it. I'm gonna say it.
What?
We keep talking about innocence, but when you realize what the person that you are involved in, and you realize what they are doing, and capitulate to that, you're no longer innocent. You're just as you may not be you may not look when you this is not Tim, this is not the side of the sidewalk you ought to be on. And this is what I'm talking about, this lukewarm thing. If you're gonna be in like Krystal, you knew what Kanan was doing. You put your own life at risk because of this relationship, and it wasn't worth it. It's not worth it. So
Listen, even you don't even have to be in the relationship. Look at Raina. Raina was innocent, and Raina passed an OG power. Look at Z.
but there's circumstances.
Z
I'm not saying
passed.
I'm not saying that this is 100%, but what I'm saying is when you actively put yourself and engage yourself into these situations, then it is what it is. You get what you.
Bad association spoils
yeah.
good habits.
Hey, I mean, come on now. So there's only a certain level of innocence that you can dole out.
Well, when Tiffany say innocent, she don't mean necessarily that she was, unaware of all the surroundings. I think she means in the fact that she was not actively in the life. She wasn't selling drugs. She wasn't doing anything illegal.
Bystanders, like people who are not.
A bystander is across the street looking at what goes on. If you are living with a drug dealer. And you may not be selling. This is my point. You might
right. No, I hear you.
You might as well go out and sell the drugs yourself because
she's complicit.
Yes,
but she was trying to go back home. He did tell her.
Yeah, he said, "I can't protect you anymore.
I can't protect you." Yeah, and she did try, and he did send her away.
But she didn't go fast enough.
Tell her. Well, she did go, but the cops
she got snatched
first.
Right. I know, but my point is, you were there long enough to get caught up.
Well, it's unfortunate for Krystal, and it is. I think the fact that that Jukebox ended up having to go to Garcia to get that information. Now he's asking for favors in return. That's a problem.
This is a problem. So this is something I talked about with my son. We watched this. I was like, she's not a snitch, but will she snitch to save her family? Because we're wondering, because in OG Power, her last name was not Thomas. Laverne. She changed her. Her name has always been Laverne, but she changed her last name to Ganner or something like that. So I'm like, did she change it to get away from her family? Was she in witness protection or whatever? Like, Juke is not a snitch, but what if she takes desperate measures to like maybe get rid of Unique or get rid of
Snapping Pop
to save the family?
Yeah.
You can give two bits about Garcia. So even though Garcia might think she owes him, but man, she's too
Sharp.
yeah,
She might take him out. Who knows?
I mean, that's what she's going to get of him. That's his benefit. Yeah, I mean, you help me out, let me help you out.
But we do know that Juke does ultimately end up in law enforcement somehow.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, we see her dealings with law enforcement quite often in this series. And usually it's in a way where she's kind of standoffish at first, but then she kind of warms up in some kind of way. So I'm just wondering what's going to be her introduction into law enforcement. Is it going to be through Garcia, or is it going to be through somebody else down the line? And also I was just going to think, like, in terms of this family and everybody having to come back together, it seems like the people that are being brought back into the fold or being pulled into the fold have baggage themselves, because Lou is under investigation by the cops, and now he's asking to be brought back into the fold with Rock. That's the attention that he's bringing. He's bringing police attention with him, basically. Maybe. And then the situation with Krystal and Famous and whatnot, and Jukebox is kind of getting information from police, and they're expecting favors in return, but ultimately she's going to have to work with her family again, but she's bringing that police baggage with her. I don't know in that situation that it helps.
No, and I honestly think that in my book, she kills Garcia, she moves to DC, and then she has this epiphany. These drug dealers, or the kingpins rather, always hiring these sloppy police officers to do their bidding, and then they wind up in a mess. Why not I become a cop? Because I'd be the least person you would expect. I both. I can do this cop thing, and I can be who I want to be, and I'm the least person that you would expect.
Yeah, I think that's the happy medium between her worlds.
Exactly, and you know what? That's how smart I see Juke being, and this is what I see merging in this situation. She's really peeling back the onion in terms of where can I stand and be safe and yet diabolical at the same time,
and still be myself. Yep. And think about what Garcia said to her when he first sat down, when she was eating the pizza like last week. He said, Burke said you were a solid citizen or something like that. So so she and Burke did have a cool type of relation, a cool rapport and stuff, and that probably meant something to her too. That that Burke spoke highly of her.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just waiting to see how everything kind of goes down. It seems like there's a recipe for a real strong episode 10 here.
I hope so.
I think it's gonna be fire. I think it is. I think it's getting ready to be. It's going to be combustible.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I love. So. I don't want to be disappointed.
No, I think it's getting ready to listen. I'll be disappointed if it isn't, but I really believe that it's getting ready to go down.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Power and all of the series in general have a reputation for having really good season finales. So I don't expect anything less. Exactly. I think that they're gonna bring it.
I think so too.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed this episode. I think that we said that there would be a major death. I wasn't expecting Krystal, but she's gone. So R.I.P. to her. She did a great job.
I thought she was gonna die when they took her off the bus. I did. What I told Ron offline, I didn't expect them to open the episode with it. I thought it was gonna lead up to the end, and that Kanan was gonna find her or something like that. I thought she was gonna go. I didn't expect them to set it off like that in the scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't expect her to die because I thought it was too hot. Like, y'all already killed Famous. It's like, dang, 2 bodies now. I just didn't see that. And Snaps and Pop, I thought that they were a little more seasoned than that.
Yeah.
I think they were desperate because I don't think they anticipated, because Kanan is a kid, right? But Kanan said to them, well, the streets are telling me that the cops did it, and the streets had a bit of like, so he didn't put it together, and he a kid. Yeah. So I think at that point they were desperate because they told the cops last week, like, you guys are sloppy, and now it's coming back on us. So I think they were so desperate to cover their tracks. They had them scoop Krystal up. They wanted to find out what Kanan knew. And then once, because apparently, the cops ain't get nowhere, because she took all that and she ain't tell the cops that Kanan thought it was Rock. So that's why I think they sent Pop in there as a last resort. And
now
then once
they made a bigger mess. I mean,
yeah.
Thank you. I was just about to say that.
They made a bigger mess. They made a mistake because now Krystal saw her. So there was no way they could let her go after that.
But also killing Krystal gives Kanan more ammunition to come back at you. And it's like, if you really want to, if Kanan is bringing you all of this information that he heard on the street, that tells you the streets are talking. The streets already are on to you, number one. And then number two, if Kanan is bringing that information to you and you don't want it to get any further, go with him.
They underestimate
or lay low, like you came into this season. You all seem to have it down pat, but now you just made a bigger mess.
Yeah, because killing Krystal didn't solve anything.
No, it didn't. It just
made a thing. So now,
that's why I said
a big target on your back.
Season finale is getting ready to be. It's great beyond.
Pops.
So, needless to say, Snaps and Pop can get the hands this episode.
Yes, they can.
For me. I mean, I can't wait to see how they go.
Yeah, I hope it's this next episode. I really do.
I think so, because that would establish Kanan too. Like they need to go. Listen. Love Marv, but he's still on the hands list because he made a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah, Marv,
a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I just wow. We got to keep him. I want Marv.
Oh no, I don't want him to die.
I love his character.
No, I love Marv. I don't want him.
I don't want him to die. I don't want him to go to jail either. I don't
know. I always root for Marv, but Marv made some mistakes, so he does deserve to be on the hands list.
Yeah.
Well, look, as far as I'm concerned, he gets a gold medal for what he did because first of all, he saved the little baby. Then
he did save Amber. Look, I'm not mad at him for doing that. It just was messy. It was that
he had no choice though. Tip. I mean, when you leaving and you hear the girl scream, Uncle. I mean, what choices do you have? Okay.
I know, but I'm just saying it just. Chronologically, everything that happened, he didn't take care early. He already Londale. He didn't screw things up with Stefano. Like that was the last thing he needed. To circle back on Amber right then.
It might have been the last thing he needed, but it was so desperately needed.
Listen, she needs help and stuff, but she's still probably gonna. I don't know. He might be in the bank.
He's not.
He ain't in no position to take care of Amber.
No, but when he said he's going to circle back, I'm like, circle back to what? Because now you told her to call the police, and once the police find that there are no parents,
he'll be in another foster home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and he out there dropping bodies and stuff. He ain't in no position to take care of Amber either.
And the trail leads right back to him because he went to the school, he went to the administrator, got the address from the administrator. Gonna find out that her parents are dead, and then it's gonna be like, oh, I just gave the address to this guy.
Yeah.
So it points.
It was paid. He might be in trouble too because he took money to give up the address. Like it's
keep his mouth shut.
It's a whole lot. It's just real messy. It's real messy.
Yeah, I agree with Marvin getting the hands. I also think Unique should get the hands because he's doing stuff that nobody asked for and that doesn't help his situation at all.
Yep, Unique. He can get the hands too. Yep.
Do we have any other nominees for the hands list?
Unique, Marvin, Snaps, and Pop. I'm
gonna give those two stupid old police officers the hands. I mean,
I'm mad at that.
I gotta learn how to clean your mess up, man. I mean, you teach your kids if you spill something on the floor, dang it, clean it up.
Damn. Yeah. I'm thinking about early because running to tell Stefano, but I mean, I guess Marvin gave him no choice because since he punked him. But that and
Stefano
can get the hands.
Stefano should get the hands. What's it called? Garcia. At least he did find Krystal. He came back and gave Juke the information about Krystal, but Garcia was getting on my nerves. The way he kept popping up. everywhere, and the way he was sweating Juke and everything. And then he went and told what's her face, like even if he went to go talk to old girl, like that is unprofessional for you to be talking about Juke's business to this woman.
Telling about her family and all that.
Talking about her family and stuff. So I was like, he violated. So I felt like he deserved a hands too.
Yeah, but we know that's a police tactic. You know, they try to induce fear in the people and make them suspicious of their the people they deal with.
Yeah, but he was tracking them too. I mean, you know, the way he was basically stalking Juke the whole episode and stuff. So yeah, so I felt like he deserved a hands too.
He's permanently on the hands as far as I'm concerned. But as you said, Tiara, he was doing his job, so
yeah,
can't expect any more from or less from him. But
he sucks at his job. He ain't putting pieces together properly and everything. Like he don't have an answer, Sway.
All right. Well, do we have a nominee for the game ball? This one, it's hard for me this episode.
Yeah.
For me, Marvin, you saved a couple of kids. We don't know what they were about to do to those kids. And as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, that was
in spite of your woes, I'm gonna give you the game ball for saving these kids. And those foster parents needed to be put down for good.
No, they did. They deserved it. I was just giving them the hands for the mistakes.
No, you're right. I'm not taking that. I'm just saying you locked these kids in a room.
Yeah, and that house was a disaster.
So they needed to be saved, and he saved them. So
yeah,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have any of the game balls. Nobody really was a standout this episode.
No. I don't know. Do we want to give it to Juke because she got the information to find out what Krystal was?
Well, I mean, that's an honorable mention.
But Garcia gave it to her. She didn't ask Garcia to go find that information.
Yes, she did.
No, she did.
Yes, she did.
That's why he said.
Oh, that's right. No, that's right. She did. She said. But Garcia had an ulterior motive too. So
she knew that, but she was trying to help her cousin. She was like, at this point, I need to find out where she is.
Because Kanan was gonna go on a rampage.
Kanan was going crazy. So she was like, I have a way that I can help, but it's complicated. And that's what she said.
I'm on the side of wrong here, but to me, it would be better off she doesn't say anything to Kanan right now.
She has to, because he's gonna keep going on a rampage.
Yeah, she has to tell him.
She has to.
That they found her.
Talk about setting him off. That's going to set.
Well, you can't just let him think like he.
You know what? Personally, for me, I would rather him just not know and find out maybe.
No, that'll drive me crazy. He need to know. He need to know.
When he finds out, he's going to be a wild buck. You cannot control him anymore. So
he's going to be a wild buck if you don't tell him.
Well,
because he pulled up on Unique, and you see how those Unique's boys and they all had guns on him and everything. Like for him to go to the lion's den, he knows that Unique has been hitting his mom's thing, and for him, he's a kid, he's a teenager, and he was still bold enough.
And he tamed that lion by saying, "Yeah, I killed your brother, and I do
it." Exactly, but he was desperate enough to go there because he wanted to find out what happened to his girl. So if he's going to be that reckless,
but my point is, what's he do now? So he's already gone to Unique, and he seemed to strike an accord with Unique. By not knowing, what else can he do?
It's a lose-lose situation.
No,
whether he knows or he doesn't know, it's going to be a bad outcome either way. But I think it would suit Jukebox well to get a little bit more information about maybe some suspects, so that when she brings the information to him, she already has a culprit, and he don't have to go out on a rampage trying to figure out who did it.
That's why I think that she's going to be the one to break through to him. I think that she going to because he's going to be mad about Rock, and I think she going to center him and be like, I don't think Rock did this. I think we need to look at Snap and Pop. I think she's gonna be the one to put his head on a swivel and get
know
him.
that Rock didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think
she can't just bring him the news by itself. She gotta have
but that's where I was coming from when I said not to tell him. You can't tell him right now. Because if you tell him right now, he's going straight to his because he's already been lied to. So
I think she's gonna have a plan. I think that's why I said I think she's gonna tell him. I think she's gonna tell him, and I think because she got the military training and stuff. So I think she's gonna they're gonna set a trap. I think and it might not just be Juke and Kanan. It may be the family.
Yep.
You know what Kanan would do?
Because clearly Snaps and Pop are trying to get Kanan to get Rock out the way.
Yep.
But if in his level of right now, at his state right now, he'd go in like gangbusters. She has to have a plan, a solid plan, and one that can convince him that this is the way to go. And I like you.
She's the only one that he really listened to though.
That's why I said, like T said, she has to come up with information that supports this idea of how we're going to go about taking care of Snaps and Pops. But if not, how do we go in like gangbusters?
Listen, how do we know that? Because we didn't see the conversation that Juke had with Garcia, and we know that she asked Garcia to look for Krystal. But how do we know that Juke didn't also ask her about some cops? She could have said, we heard some cops, the streets are saying cops picked up things, do you know that, like, who knows? She may be,
maybe that's the trade-off in information.
To try to find out who these cops are.
So that would be a great trade-off, and also a great episode because they would grab them, interrogate them, finding out that it wasn't Rock, that it was Snaps and Pops, and here we go.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like a likely way that it could go down, where everybody finds out who is really behind all this stuff. So I don't know. I'm not mad at that theory. So I'm really, really looking forward to next week, though. I can't wait to see how they're gonna close it out for us on season 4.
I know.
So this was a good one. To all the viewers out there, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you drop down in the comment section and give us your thoughts on this episode, as well as any predictions that you have for the big finale. We are at The Spot Real Talk on all major social media platforms, so be sure you give us a follow there, and make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell. You never know what kind of extra content we might drop in and who might be featured on the show. Could be you if you want to. So if you'd like to be a participant in some of our recaps, just let us know. Drop it down in the comments, or you can hit us up on our Instagram profile. Shoot us a DM. Please make sure you invite your friends and family as well to get down with The Spot Real Talk. We love all the new viewers we've been having, and please keep up the viewership and continue to help us grow. Tiff, Ron, y'all got anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we are also recapping Godfather of Harlem, so make sure you catch those recaps. We will be having The Chi coming back real soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. And as always, we'll be back next week for the recap of episode 10 of Raising Kanan. If you have any other suggestions for shows you'd like to see us recap, then drop that in the comment section as well. If nothing else needs to be added, I think we will call it a night. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
It's yours if you bought it. She look good when she rock 'em. Long as up, I'ma do your thing. Shawty know she killing the game when she rockin' her. Brains. When she rockin' her. Brains. Yeah. Cornrows crochet, got us some French braids. Jumbo box braids, micros been laid. You a work of art, girl, you set apart. See her tying up her hair with the satin scarf. Let's go. She been in the bed before she bought a